It is a very uh, unique opportunity, I think, for me to meet you again in Bombay when you are all leaving this country, and this kind of a special type of a puja that we are having today. This is the puja done to the sun and is called as Makar Sankrant. Makar is the tropic of Capricorn. Capricorn is Makar. So now the sun is moving from the tropic of Capricorn towards the tropic of Cancer. And it's always a fixed date because it has something to do with the sun. This is the only date which is fixed in Indian calendar because they have to deal with the sun. But this time I don't know why, what has happened that they have put it on the 15th of this month. It's always the 14th. Now, today is they are changing. I would say that the seasons are going to be changed. We've got 6 months when this sun moves towards the southern hemisphere and makes it warm. And when it comes to the northern hemisphere from tomorrow. So today is the last day, which we say that is the day which is the coldest day, according to Indian understanding. After this, the heat will start growing, and we can do anything that is auspicious, any auspicious things can be done after this puja is over during the summertime. Though it's very hot in summer, still people want the sun to rule us and to give us warmth because of him only all the fields and all the vegetables, all the fruits, everything grows. And that's why when the 6 months the sun is not here, we call it as Sankrant, meaning a calamity in a way. That is when, of course, in the European countries or say in England, America, it is a calamity at that time when the sun is not there. But even here, it is regarded as a time. Today is the day that the end of the Sankrant, means the end of the calamity is over. And they give something sweet to eat, which is also mixed with sesame seeds. Because sesame seed is heat-giving, so today being the hottest day, coldest day, they want to use sesame seed. Also want you to retain the heat and to adjust yourself to the heat that's coming up. This is all thought of in a way, in a very gross level, on a very gross level, that we should keep the people warm enough. Also, it is said that the warmth of love should be expressed at this time for people because it's the coldest day. So they say that we give you this special thing for you to say something sweet, that is god bola, means you say something sweet to us. And the people who live in warm countries are sweeter people than the people who live in colder places, because the nature is rather very unkind to them. I don't blame them for their temperament, because the nature is one kind. In India you can live anywhere. You can live under a tree, you can live in a forest, anywhere you can live quite happily, as long as there is water to drink and water to bathe. And there's not such a problem as we have to face in the other parts of the world, where if you have to go out of the house, you take about 15-20 minutes to dress yourself up. Here you just can walk out of the house, you can keep your houses open during the summertime, and there's no problem of any kind as far as the nature is concerned. Nature becomes very kind during summertime here because the trees are lush and lot of greenery. People feel very happy during that time. and all the activity becomes more with the sun's energy. But in the West, as you have seen, that the sun is much less. Because of that, people keep more to their houses, to artificial heating or other heatings, and the doors are closed, the hearts are closed, and it's difficult for them to communicate with other people. As you go down south more, in your countries also, you'll find people are warmer, simpler, uh, very hospitable. With the sun, you get the heart, which is very open heart and a kind of a inviting heart. Now, if you see on the Sahaja Yoga style, the sun line is the right side and the moon is the left side. On the moon line, one can desire but cannot act. Apart from that, on the moon line, if you go too far, it can be destructive. Because if you sit in the house doing nothing, and also these days there's unemployment, say for example, no work, then you start thinking too much. And this thinking is just a desire, energy working out, no action. And without the action, this energy can become very destructive. That is why we find that people, they say that empty mind or is the devil's workshop. Where people do not act, when the action doesn't take place, then it can be quite destructive. लावून द्या पंखा थोडासा आणखी वाढवून द्या हां आणखीन वाढवून द्या हा वाढवा थोडासा वाढवून द्या बस हां. So the whole situation is different in a country which is warm and a country which is not warm. But in a country where it is very warm also, like Africa, there are complications due to too much of heat. Like we have the topic of, the equator passing through, and it heats up that area so much that it becomes full of jungles, very high trees and tall trees, and the whole place is covered with foliage so much that there's no possibility for any sunshine to penetrate through. And it's quite dark, it's full of darkness. So that extreme also comes in the same category as the extreme of the cold season. Now such people live there, and they naturally, because the sun is less, so they do not grow much, and they can be primitive people, and they can be quite aggressive, like they learn things from the animals, and they could be quite aggressive. So the balance has to be struck, and the balance is that we should desire and act. But the trouble is, in human atmosphere, there is a division of labor, I think. That one part of the country is thinking, another part of the country is acting. Under these circumstances, nothing will work out. So, a balance has to be struck where you have the Sushumna working out. Now, the Sushumna Nadi is the one where one would say is the equator. Is not equator, but is the axis of the Mother Earth. The axis of the Mother Earth is the Sushumna, and that has to act.